Welcome to the deep dive. There's this one thing, this experience that really connects us all. It doesn't matter who you are. It's pain, right? That unavoidable thing. And I don't just mean like stubbing your toe, although, yeah, that hurts. But, the deeper stuff too, like chronic illness or a broken heart or just being exhausted by the daily grind. Loss. It finds us all. Eventually, it's just part of being human, seems like. But here's a thought. What if there's something else going on? Something more subtle? What if the real agony, the long-lasting stuff that we feel, isn't just the pain itself, but something we kind of add to it, maybe without even realizing? So today we're diving into this big question. Is suffering, really inevitable when pain hits? Or could it actually be a choice?
That's exactly what we want to explore in this deep dive. We've looked at quite a range of sources, wisdom traditions, philosophy, even modern psychology. And they all seem to point towards this really critical distinction. It's not about trying to, wish pain away. Like you said, that's not going to happen. The aim here is to unpack the difference. Pain versus suffering. And maybe guide you towards what some call the art of living without suffering. It's about changing your relationship with the pain, not necessarily getting rid of the pain itself, finding some peace in the middle of it all.
Okay, yeah, let's really unpack that. Because that distinction feels, fundamental. So, first off, pain is real. We need to establish that, right? It's a signal, sometimes a loud one. It demands attention. It asks us to feel.
Absolutely. It shows up in so many ways.
Yeah.
Physically, obviously, illness, injury, just being worn out. Think about a headache that just won't quit, or pulling a muscle, or that bone-deep tiredness. That's pain.
And emotionally, too, right? Just as strong.
Oh, definitely. Losing someone, feeling betrayed, loneliness, that deep ache. It's all pain.
It's the raw data, the immediate feeling.
Exactly. The raw data. And this is where suffering comes in. And it's different. Because suffering, according to these traditions we looked at, isn't the raw feeling itself. It's the story we layer on top of it. Yeah, that mental narrative. It's that extra weight we add when our minds start asking, the ones, why me? Why is this happening now? What did I do wrong? What terrible thing is going to happen next? It's that whole spiral of thoughts that takes over, turns the signal into a whole drama.
Right. And our minds, they kind of default to that, don't they? When pain hits, the first instinct is often fight it, run away, pretend it's not happening.
We recoil. We want it gone. But here's the kicker, the counterintuitive part that so many sources highlight. The more we fight the pain, the more we resist what is happening.
The stronger it gets.
It often feels that way, yeah. Like throwing fuel on a fire. That very resistance, that struggle against the reality of the pain, that's where suffering is really born. It's not just the initial hurt, it's the battle in our minds against that hurt that makes it agony.
Okay, so pain is the signal. Suffering is the resistance. A fair summary?
That's a really core analogy, yeah. Repeated in so many ways. Pain is what's happening right now, that sensation, that ache. Suffering is all the mental commentary about it.
Yeah.
And our minds, they're fantastic storytellers. Master storytellers, as some put it.
Yeah, they really are.
They'll replay the past full of regret. They'll project these awful future scenarios, weaving this whole net of fear, regret, and despair, as one source described it.
Like you have a headache. That's the pain.
Right.
But then thinking, this headache's going to ruin my whole week. I won't get anything done. Maybe it's something serious.
Exactly. That whole catastrophizing narrative.
Yeah.
That's the suffering. It's built around the pain, but it's not the pain itself.
So if the mind is the storyteller creating all this extra drama, then the solution has to involve our relationship with the mind. Because honestly, sometimes that mental chatter feels like me. It's hard to separate.
That's a really central point. And it leads to maybe the most pivotal idea from these sources. It's this concept. You are not the mind. You are the awareness that sees the mind.
Okay. Unpack that a bit.
It's a shift in perspective.
Yeah.
It means realizing you're not the thoughts, the worries, the stories. You're the space in which they happen. Like, you're not the movie playing. You're the screen it's projected onto. Or maybe the audience watching it.
Your audience watching the movie. I like that. So you're not in the movie.
You're not the character getting caught up in the plot. You're observing it. And that's the shift needed to choose not to suffer.
Okay, so when pain hits and the mind inevitably starts its why me routine, we can't just switch the mind off, right? It's going to tell stories.
Pretty much, yeah. It's what minds do. Trying to stop it directly is usually frustrating.
So what then? If we can't stop the stories?
The advice is to step back, to witness, to just watch the mind create its drama. Observe the thoughts, the why me's, the fears, but without getting tangled up in them.
Create some distance.
Exactly. Create a little space between the raw pain and your reaction to it. A pause. In that pause, you can choose. You see the mind doing its thing, like watching a busy machine, but you don't have to jump onto the conveyor belt.
And that allows for that internal reminder, that mantra you mentioned.
Yes. Across different traditions, the essence is similar. You remind yourself, maybe silently, this is pain, acknowledge it, but I do not need to suffer.
Wow. That feels simple, but really powerful.
It cuts through the noise, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It anchors you in that truth. Pain is here. It's unavoidable.
But the suffering part, that's optional.
That's the potential liberation. If suffering is optional, then wow, how we deal with life's hard knocks could completely change.
It suggests a kind of peace that isn't dependent on everything being perfect outside.
Precisely, an inner peace.
Okay, so how do we do that? Practically, when the pain is intense, this idea of allowance.
Right, allowance. It sounds passive, maybe, but it's actually incredibly active internally. The great mystics, mindfulness teachers, they consistently advise, allow the pain. Don't fight it. Feel it, fully, but without adding labels, without judging it as bad or unbearable.
So allowing it somehow dissolves the resistance.
That's the idea. Resistance is the fuel for suffering.
Yeah.
If you stop resisting, stop fighting what is, suffering doesn't have anything to hold on to. It has no ground to stand on, as some texts put it.
Like fighting a shadow. Once you stop pushing, you see it wasn't solid.
Beautifully put. Yes, exactly like
Okay, no ground to stand on. I love that. But, in the moment, it's tough. What are some actual steps? How do we practice allowing?
There's a very simple exercise, actually. Something you can try anytime. Just maybe close your eyes for a moment, take a breath, and just notice sensations in your body. Any tightness, heaviness, a specific ache.
Okay.
Don't try to fix it or push it away. Just notice it. Like a scientist observing something. Pure curiosity.
And then the inner dialogue part. Instead of, oh no, this is awful.
Right, you consciously reframe it gently. Tell yourself something like, this is just a sensation, I'm watching it.
Not adding the story, not adding the fear.
Exactly. No story, no fear about what it means or how long it will last. Just watching the pure sensation. You shift from being the victim of the sensation to being the neutral witness of it.
And what happens then? Does the pain just vanish?
Usually not immediately, no. And that's important to understand. That's not really the point. But what does happen, often quite quickly, is that the burden around the pain lifts.
The suffering part.
Yes. The mental anguish, the emotional intensity that starts to ease because you're not fighting anymore. You're not feeding the fire. The storm, as it were, still happens, but it feels like it passes more gently. You're observing the rain, not wrestling the thunder.
That makes sense. And there was that analogy you mentioned about the sky.
Ah, yes. It's a classic and really helpful visual. Think of your awareness, your consciousness as the sky. Vast, open, always there. And thoughts, feelings, sensations, including pain, are like clouds. They come and go. Some are dark and stormy, some are light and fluffy. But the sky.
The sky remains untouched. It doesn't become the cloud.
Exactly. It doesn't get scarred by the storm. It just allows the clouds to pass through.
So our awareness is the sky. Pain is a cloud.
And suffering. Suffering is when we forget we're the sky and believe we are the cloud. We identify completely with that temporary storm, that dark cloud of pain and the stories around it.
That's a powerful image. It really helps visualize that separation. Feeling the cloud, but not being the cloud.
Precisely. Observing its nature, letting it be there without letting it define your entire sky.
So the actionable takeaway here is, whenever you notice yourself spiraling, that why me feeling.
Pause, just pause, take a breath, come back to right now, and ask yourself that question. What's actually real in this moment?
Is it the raw sensation, the pain, or is it the story about the pain?
That question alone can create so much space. It cuts through the mental clutter.
Brings you back to the present, where you actually have a choice about how to respond.
And when you consistently separate the two, the pain from the story, that's where freedom starts.
Freedom, but not freedom from feeling pain ever again, right?
No, definitely not. Life will still bring challenges, loss, aches. That's guaranteed. The freedom is different. It's freedom from the fear of pain. Freedom from the automatic habit of turning pain into suffering.
So you face it differently.
Yes, with more courage, perhaps. More gentleness. Definitely more awareness. It's a shift from fighting reality to working with reality.
And the result, over time.
Life starts to feel lighter. Genuinely lighter. Pain still visits. It knocks on the door.
But it doesn't chain you down?
Exactly. It doesn't chain you. It doesn't steal your underlying peace. Because you've learned how to host it. in a way, to allow it without letting it take over the whole house.
You see the cloud, but you remain the sky.
Beautiful. Yes, that's the art we're talking about, the art of living without suffering.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the core message seems incredibly clear. Pain happens, it's part of life, can't avoid it. But suffering, that extra layer of mental and emotional agony, that potentially is optional. It's a choice.
It really is, and remembering the steps can help make that choice more accessible. When pain arrives, try to allow it. Just let it be there, without the fight. When the mind starts its storytelling, because it will just watch it, like watching clouds, don't grab onto them, and breathe. Come back to the present moment, to your awareness. And you might just find, yeah, the pain is here, but the suffering doesn't have to be.
And that leaves us with a final thought to maybe chew on after this deep dive. If our deepest fears, the things that cause so much suffering, are often just these stories we tell ourselves, what other things in life that we think are unavoidable might actually be optional too? What else might be waiting for our awareness to kind of liberate us from its weight? Something to ponder. Until next time, keep diving deep.